Let me fix this really fast. We are live with another one, guys. Okay. Welcome to the channel. This is OE MMA TV. I'm your host, OE. Like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it. Thank you for supporting independent MMA media, guys. And like I always say, this is your channel, the only channel where the fans come first, not last. All right, guys. Really don't have any topic of discussion today. You know what I mean? How you doing, Dean? How are you doing, Dean? Blessings to you, man. Welcome to the channel and welcome to the chat. You know, today's topic, I don't really have a topic, man. Jason 9. Welcome back to your channel. Welcome back to your chat, guys. How you guys are doing on this beautiful Thursday morning? Okay, Thursday morning, September 11th. Okay, it is September 11th, 2026, guys. Crazy times, crazy times. Really, we don't have a topic of discussion today. So today is just freestyle, guys. We're going to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. You know what I mean? My country won against corruption, 19 students killed. My country won against corruption, 19 students killed. Dean, what are you talking about? 19 students killed. What's going on out there, Dean? What are you talking about? What do you mean, Dean? Yeah, man. What do you mean, Dean? My country won against corruption, 19 students killed. I want to know the details about this, my guy. Guys, like and subscribe. Run up these subscriptions and run up these likes. Do me the favor. I appreciate each and every one of you for supporting this community, okay, guys? But, guys, it is September 11th, okay? We're living in crazy times right now. We really are. A little bit about UFC right now. Jon Jones just had a recent interview stating that he is not retired, guys. Jon Jones plans to get on that White House card. And guys, it's only a little bit. It's only really been like a week or two since I made the video of my my UFC White House card, guys, and it looks like Kayla Harrison, guys, will be at the White House card. Now, I don't know if that's 100% sure, but according to Kayla Harrison in her recent interview, she shall be on that White House card. Now, let me read some of these comments here. I'm not the biggest Star Trek fan, but William Shatner didn't deserve to go out that way. Rest in peace, Captain Kirk. We students, Gen Z, protest against corruption leaders, and we won, but sadly, many of us died. Dean, damn, I'm sorry to hear that, Dean. I am sorry to hear that. Mr. says, Nepal? Yes, Nepal. Oh, wow. That is crazy. Did you hear Helwani called Jon Jones out for being interviewed on the red carpet by his own damn publicist? Mr. C's, is that true? I mean, that's the recent interview that I actually saw of Jon Jones stating that he is not retired, and he actually makes claim that he will be fighting at that White House card. Are you talking about that interview? That is unbelievable. I did not know that was his own publicist. Unbelievable, Mr. C's. Saw that Charlie Kirk guy. Hope his family is okay. Good morning. It's a good night here. I hear you, Dean. I hear you. Jason 9, man, you know. Oh, man. That's a tough subject right there, man. That's a tough subject right there. I think it's crazy. You know what? Since Jason 9 and a lot of people, there's been a few people already on here talking about Charlie. Look, guys, I'm not really in tune with when it comes to political beliefs or politics in general. I try to keep my nose out of that. You know what I mean? I try to keep myself informed as much as I can, to the point where, you know what I mean. I just want to I want to read and listen to things that are going to uh, affect me and my family. You know what I mean? So that's really the closest that I'll get to politics, honestly. So I don't really know a lot about Charlie Kirk. I really don't. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh my gosh, and moan the guy. You know what I mean? Or mourn the guy. But yeah, nobody should die like that. Let alone die in front of your family, because I believe his family was in attendance, his kids and his wife. So to see something like that, through the internet, I'm not gonna lie, it left an everlasting impression in my mind, of the state of this country. To be honest with you, you know what I mean. We're living in a world where somebody can get killed and shot right in front of us, and uh, it's gonna be recorded. You know what I mean? It's gonna be recorded by numerous people. There's gonna be different perspectives, different camera angles as well. There's going to be people celebrating as well. I saw videos of people, I don't want to say celebrating, but they were, they brought out their phones. They started talking about, oh my God, Charlie, somebody got shot, and, excited that they happen to be in attendance for this shooting. It's like, it's, I don't know what type of world we're living in, guys. It's just crazy. It made me think about, all the assassinations back then, you know what I mean? About what's going on, even 100 years ago. I mean, President Lincoln, got shot, basically at a theater. You know what I mean? And if there was cameras then, and there happened to be cell phones then, we would have all been able to see, President Lincoln at his demise. That's the world that we're living in, guys. We're it's crazy, man. I'm at a loss for words, to be honest with you. Like I said, I don't know anything about. I don't know a lot about Charlie Kirk. I really don't. I'm not gonna say I don't know anything, but I don't know a lot about the guy. And I could sit here today and say what happened to him is ridiculous. It's atrocious. It really left a lasting impression in my life, to be honest with you, because never in my right mind did I actually think that I will actually watch somebody die. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. There's videos out there. There's numerous, movies that I watched, but to actually see somebody get shot in that manner and die in front of many people, let alone his family. I mean, I don't know how that doesn't leave you, thinking, at least thinking. You know what I mean? Let me read some of these comments though, since we're on this touchy subject here. 100% true. John Jones was not interviewed by any journalist. None of them care enough. Damn, Mr. C, I had no idea. Eddie Spaghetti, welcome back to your channel. Welcome back to your chat. Hey, Guapo, how have you been, man? I've been good, man. I've been good. Hopefully, you've been doing well and you're safe and you're healthy as well, Eddie Spaghetti. Mustard, welcome back to your channel. Welcome back to your chat. Long time no see. Jones can stay gone. He's never facing Aspinall. If he's coming back, it's to defeat some tomato can. Mustard, that's probably what's going to go on. You know what I mean? I don't see John Jones fighting Tom Aspinall just because, Tom Aspinall and that heavyweight division is in shambles, to be honest with you. Edward says, please be quiet, sir. Edward, who are you talking about? Hopefully you're not talking to me, because if you are talking to me and if you was in front of me, you'll get backhanded, okay? You'll get backhanded because you're not even worth the front of my hand, okay? Keisha Chanel says, crazy they took out Charlie Kirk but left Trump. That's fucked up, man. Keisha Channel, you shouldn't say shit like that. You know what I mean? I might not agree with a lot of things that Trump does. I might not agree with what Charlie Kirk does. I might not agree with a lot of things that a lot of people do. But I'm not gonna sit here today and say, man, I wish negative, you know, negative things on the person. I would never say that, let alone, wish that the person gets killed. You know what I mean? I I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna sit here and say that and wish, negative things upon a person. I just can't. I can't sit here and do that. So for anybody who's willing to go on somebody else's channel and speak that, negativity, I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna call you out, Keisha channel, and I'm gonna tell you, you should hold you should hold your fingers a little bit. You know what I mean? You should hold them. Because one day you might be held accountable. And last thing you want is for negativity and harm to be put on you or anybody you love. Charlie will be avenged. BG, man, I don't know. I don't know what's going on out there, man. Like I said, guys, I try to stay away from the politics. I really do. I try to stay far, far away from it because things like this happen. There's going to be somebody out there that disagrees with you and disagrees with you to a point where they can't control themselves. You know what I mean? They're too emotional. And there's a lot of people out there right now that are just too emotional. They don't have control over their emotions, and it's a sad story in my opinion. You know what I mean? In my opinion, there's a lot of people out here that they need a crying shoulder. Okay, they need a crying shoulder. There's too many, especially men. You know what I mean? Guys. I'm gonna tell you a little story, but let me read some of these comments. It's crazy, man. Charlie was just one guy speaking his mind. He wasn't hurting anyone. Mustard, I agree with you. Jason 9 says, I agree, bro. Some people were actually celebrating, like, what the fuck, you retarded, for some or something. Jason 9, my point exactly. We're living in a world right now where it's just total confusion. I'm glad I left the US. I love the country. I hate the divide. There is still humanity out here in the real world, but it's hard to find it's hard to find in the Holly world bubble. Mr. C, I hear you. Main envoy from Montan says, I think Chimaev can defeat Ankalaev. What do you think? Uh I'll tell you what, it's going to be a tough fight. If that fight ever happened, it's definitely going to be a tough fight. But I do give it to Chimaev. I just have a lot of belief in Chimaev. The guy is getting better and better every time he touches the octagon. Uh, I'm talking about heavy to lightweight, of course. Yeah, I hear you. Jason Keisha, that name sounds like she's very loud. All I'm gonna say is that Jason 9, my point exactly. That's the reason why I called that person out. Gene KO, boy, let's go. Jack, welcome back to your channel. Welcome back to your chat. I hear you, man. I did pay Gene for my UFC fight predictions. It sucks, man. But that's America politics for you. Yeah, man. But I did want to tell a story, guys. And I was talking about being emotional. You know what I mean? I was talking about being emotional, and there's too many people out there that don't have control over their emotions. You know what I mean? That's why there's a lot of situations like this happening, like Charlie Kirk's situation. But guys, I'm gonna tell you a little story, right? I knew a guy. I'm sitting here watching this video. I'm watching it's like this documentary, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with The Game. He's a rapper from California, and The Game happened to be getting interviewed by some reporter, and in this interview, The Game actually starts crying. You know what I mean? Now, if you know The Game, if you know anything about him, you know that he comes from a gang banging background. He's been shot at. He's been shot. He's been shot multiple times. He's been shot on the leg. He's been shot multiple times on his body. I mean, the guy comes from a hard background. You know what I mean? And mid interview, it was a touchy subject for him. So mid interview, The Game starts crying. Literally, he just starts bawling, crying, and he tries to, let me make sure my mic is hot. He tries to, get the words out, but it was tough. It was tough for The Game to get the words out because he was being emotional. He was crying. You know what I mean? He was letting it all hang out. You know what I mean? And I remember there was a person in my life that came up while I was watching this interview, and this person was like, "Oh my God, he's crying," and he was like totally disgusted and appalled at the fact that The Game was crying. And I'm like, whoa. I literally was like, well, "Yeah, he's crying. What's wrong with that?" And he was like, "Man, if you cry, you're not a man. You can't call yourself a man if you cry." I kept my mouth shut. Because everybody is entitled to their own opinion. You know what I mean? But these days, opinions are like assholes, and most of the time they stink. Okay? Years later, I'm talking like maybe 15 to 16 years later, after this whole sequence happened of The Game having an interview and this guy, coming, and saying, "Oh my God, if you cry, you're not a man. I don't consider The Game a man because he's crying. He's being emotional. You're not a man if you're being emotional, right?" Years later, like 15 to 16 years later, that same person that was talking shit like that about The Game crying Well, something happened in his family. Okay, something happened in his family, and I'll call it out like it is. Something happened in his family, and it was close to him. Okay, it was his father. Okay, and something happened to his father to the point where his father started crying. And not only did the father start crying, but the father got so emotional to the point where he couldn't even control himself that he had a slight heart attack, literally a slight heart attack. They had to call the EMTs to come pick up his father because he couldn't control his emotions so bad that he literally started crying, bawling, and he caused himself to have a heart attack. Now, I say this to say that. I say that to say this. Excuse me. I say that to say this. There's a lot of people out there, like I said, with their own opinions. And unfortunately, we're all not going to agree. And that day when that person had said, "Oh, if you cry, you're not a man," I did not agree with him at all. But I kept my mouth shut. Because why? Why am I going to argue with somebody about a subject that honestly I could care less about? Okay? That is just the God honest truth. But, however, I honestly think, going back to this whole emotional thing, I think that there needs to be more people out there, more men out there willing to cry. If you're going through a situation, cry. Even if you have to do it in private. Let out your emotions. There's too many fucking people out here holding their fucking emotions inside, like that fucking idiot talking about that the game is not a man because he's crying. How is that even fucking logical? You are a fucking retard. That's exactly what I wanted to tell that guy. You're a retard. Because I know right now, if I smack the shit out of you and I beat the shit out of you to a pulp to the point where you can't even fucking walk and I break your fucking knee, I know for a fact you will start crying because of the fucking pain. So don't tell me you're less of a man because you're being emotional and you're showing your emotions. You're not less of a man if you're crying. You're not less of a man if you're showing your emotions. Show your emotions. Cry. Talk to someone. That's the problem with today's society. Today's society wants you to be, compressed. Instead of decompressing, they want you to be compressed and stay stressed to the point where you fucking explode to the point where you're that guy holding the gun, killing Charlie, Kurt. It's crazy to me, man. So my opinion towards what happened to Charlie, man, I'm just being honest. People need to be held accountable. People need to be held accountable. And there's too many fucking people out there in general, or men in general, too many men out there thinking that being emotional is being a pussy. And the reality is that's not the truth. That is not the truth. Every human being is different. If this person doesn't cry when something crazy happens, more power to him. More power to him. But every individual is different. So in my opinion, there needs to be more men out there that are willing to be emotional. Go out there and talk to somebody. Go out there and cry. Even if you're by yourself, let it all hang out. Let it all out. Cry. Be emotional. Don't fucking keep all that shit inside, because if you keep all that shit inside, this is what we get. A person with a fucking gun, 200 yards, shooting, for God knows why. Let me read some of these comments, man. I will put you a follower who look amazing, man. I will put you a follower who looks amazing, man. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Mr. C says, I use Bidits, my bunghole don't stink. That is just crazy. Another mad immigrant. Captain Immigrant. Another mad immigrant. Captain, who the fuck are you talking to? I'm definitely not, my father most likely is an immigrant, but I'm not a fucking immigrant. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm from the US. I was born in the Mecca. I was born in New York City. Okay? The fuck are you talking about? Fucking immigrant. Are you fucking dumb? We are humans. We are supposed to have emotions. Do a box. Oh, never mind. I'm slow. No man should die over an opinion. Jerry, that's my point exactly. My point exactly. But whoever that fucking idiotic fucking Captain Dumbass there is, Captain whoever dumbass is calling me an immigrant, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you was in front of me right now, I'll knock the shit out of you. I don't give a fuck how far I have to go. But I promise you, if you was in front of me and you call me that shit, I will fuck you up. And I'm not. I try to stay away from drama. I'm telling you, I try to stay away from it as far as I can. But you're the type of person that we don't need people like you. Okay, we don't. So don't come around here calling people fucking immigrants when you don't know the fucking fine detail. Cause I'll really be ridiculous right now. And I'll find out your IP address. I'll find out everything I can about you, you motherfucker. Okay? And I'll put your fucking address out live. Don't fuck around, bro. I'll have immigrants, real immigrants, standing in front of your fucking house. Fucking dumbass. Bro, crawfish versus cinnamon. Who you got? Shit, man. I got the crawfish. No, wait. I got the cinnamon. The cinnamon it could kill a human being. You know what I mean? Bro, you look psychotic. I'm NGL. Your eyes are dark, brother. That's kind of why I asked. Jason 9, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for handling that for me, man. That's why I made you a character here, Jason 9. It's Jason 9. There's a few others on here. There's Mustard. There's GTA Shorts. Guys, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for keeping this community safe and keeping this community real, man. Real talk, man. I'm just being real. When it comes to Captain, that guy is a fucking idiot. I was just waiting for you to read that dumb shit. Good shit, bro. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that, Jason. I really do. If you boxed, do I box? Look, I suck at boxing. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm gonna be real. I'm not gonna lie. I got my ass fucked up when I walked into a boxing ring. I'm just being I'm being honest, guys. I'm being as realistic as I can be right now, and I'm being real. I'm never gonna fake it to my community. All right. Like I always say, this is the channel where the fans come first, not last. I always say that. All right. And I'm never, ever going to sway from that. Never one bit. Even if you ask me a question like this, and I'm going to tell you the truth. All right. I walked into a boxing gym. Okay. And I'm not going to lie to you. I got my ass handed to me. I got fucked up real bad. Okay. I got dropped like 3 or 4 times. I'm not going to lie. I did. But there was moments in that battle. There was moments in that sparring that I knew for a fact if we were doing mixed martial arts, there's no way this boxer had a chance against me. Because there was moments in there where I grabbed him and I pushed him towards the corner and I would land some body punches, you know what I mean? And I would come up, you know what I mean? But those are the moments, in my opinion, when I grabbed him, those are the real moments where I would have wrestled him to the ground and I would have gotten a real naked choke cleanly. And even if he would have fought off the takedown, I still would have taken him down. I still would have gone with a double leg. If he would have fought the double leg, I would have went to a single leg. If he would have fought the single leg, I would have went to a single leg high crotch to a banana peel all the way up to you know what I'm saying, till I take him down. I work relentlessly, you know what I mean, on my wrestling. So I know for a fact there was moments in that boxing match or in that boxing sparring match that, you know, afterwards I said, damn, I got my ass fucked up. But guess what? If it was a mixed martial arts fight or a mixed martial arts sparring match, he would have no chance against me. No chance. None at all. Because there wouldn't have been an opportunity for him to get close. Because I use my distance really well when it comes to my leg. I use my kicks really well when it comes to my legs. I would have broken his arms apart just by kicking his arms alone. Even if he was to block my kicks, I guarantee you by the 6th or 7th one, he's not going to want to block it anymore. You know what I mean? But I did get my ass kicked. Let me read some of these comments. 100%. They'll either make you out to be weak or being human. They then call you crazy when they drive you crazy. Mustard, my point exactly. Thank you, Mustard. Everyone does at some point in time. Jerry, you're right. Laugh my ass off. Easy takedowns. Easy takedowns. Jerry, I'm not lying. There was moments in that battle that I grabbed him, and I'm telling you, once I grab a hold of you, you're not getting away from me. If it's a mixed martial arts fight or a street fight, you're not getting away from me. You're not. I'm gonna be on you like glue to the point where I guarantee you we're gonna go on the ground, and when we get on the ground, what you did to me in stand up, I'm gonna do to you on the ground. Point blank. Period. I guarantee it. Clean your mats, Mustard. What? A Wildflower 46 says I had a guy try to attack me in Target, hit him with the shopping cart. I can't fight. I can't fight a grown man. Hey, there's no rules to fighting, man. There's no rules to fighting, let alone a street fight. You know, if I saw a brick, you know what I mean, in a street fight, and I happen to have a hold of it, you best believe I'm going to use it. Okay, you best believe I'm going to use. There's no rules to street fighting. The only rule is get out of this cleanly. Okay. USA says every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is the King of Kings. USA, Jesus be, when you say Jesus, say peace be upon him. Okay. When you say Jesus, say peace be upon him. Okay. It just was how Mustard says it just was how the gym was, bro. And people sweat, man. You can't have an MMA gym without a drop of sweat. Mustard, my point exactly. What do you mean? Yeah. What do you? Of course. How do we stop something like Charlie Kirk happening with us if we have opinions? Ran. That's a good question, man. That's a damn. That's a real good question, Arvan. Let me. I don't want to say a rebuttal on this subject and then look back at it and I regret it. You know what I mean? So let me think about this really fast. You know what I mean? Let me read your question again because it's a really important question, Arvan. I really respect that. How do we stop something like Charlie Kirk happening with us if we have opinions? Wow. Wow. It's crazy to think, Arvan, and everybody in this community, for that matter. It's crazy. Let me make sure my mic is hot. I gotta make sure my mic is on. It is. Um, it's crazy that we're living in a world right now where we have people like Ran or Rav um questioning the fact whether they can even have an opinion. We are living in a world today where having an opinion can get you killed. And not only can it get you killed, but the memory of your death can be recorded and it could be there forever. So how do we prevent this, right? I mean, since the beginning of time, there's always been a hater, and there's always been a person who's going to disagree with you. There's always going to be a person that dislikes you for some odd reason. That always happens. It's happened to me throughout my life. I've had family members that I could care less about, to be honest with you. But I've had family members dislike me for no apparent reason. You know what I mean? Like I could be sitting in a room. You know what I mean? And this has happened. I could be sitting in a room and a family member will come in, and I don't chop it up with the family member because I just don't. If I don't get along with you, and I never chill with you, and I never broke bread with you, that's for a reason. The reason there's a reason behind it. You know what I mean? So if you come stepping into the room and I don't break bread with you, and I don't say what up to you like that, you know what I mean? And I'm not really conversing with you, then really there's nothing else to be said. But people are going to take that action and they're going to hate you for it. They're going to have an opinion about it. And that's been happening since the beginning of time. Like I said before, I mean, President Lincoln got killed in a theater. JFK got killed in the back of a car, of a Lincoln car at that. He got assassinated in the back of a Lincoln car with his wife being president in front of the whole world. So I don't think this is ever going to stop. I think if you have a strong enough opinion and you're not a coward to the point where you're actually going in front, you know, in front of the war like Charlie did, like he was going in front of, college students and debating with them. That's it takes courage to do something like that. So if you're that type of person who's opinionated and who, not a coward, and you're going to say it like it is, well, guess what? You're going to build up enemies. You're going to find somebody who disagrees with you. That is just the reality that we're living in. And unfortunately, now we're living in a world where people are more accessible to high caliber weapons. So having an opinion, it can get you killed. I think it's not about how you prevent it, because we're not ever going to prevent it. It's about how you go about, doing your business and giving your opinion. That's really what it's about. Is how do you move forward with giving your opinion to the point where you're not putting yourself out there to the point where, you're not safe. But let me read some of these comments. I did boxing before MMA. Went into the gym thinking I could beat most people to get kicked in the balls by a chick. Jason 9. That is hilarious. My first Muay Thai competition, I got kicked in my balls twice, but I still won the fight. Isaac says, "Hello, handsome. I love you from Puerto Rico." Papi, what is up, Isaac? Welcome to your channel. Welcome to your chat. Mars, how you doing? Welcome back to your channel. Welcome back to your chat. Mars making his one-time appearance, 1 month appearance, one time a year appearance. Welcome back, Mars. Yeah, LOL, you're gonna sweat, bro. But there's definitely a way of going about it. Mr. C says, you look 6'3", 195 pounds. Who, me? I look 6'3", 195 pounds. There is no way that I look like 195 pounds, let alone 6'3", guys. I'm definitely not 6'3" and 195 pounds. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I am close. But I'm not 195 pounds. Jerry says, informal analyzer. You're damn right. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. His wife and kids was there. Yeah, USA. His wife and kids were there. Arvan TBH. I think this shit is just gonna get worse if you look how things are going. Jason 9 deleted a message. I started off doing wrestling and BJJ when I was 7, but when I turned 15, I moved to boxing because all the staffs, and man, some dirty fellas just don't come to the gym clean. Mustard, that is one of the reasons why I don't go to the gyms anymore. Okay, I don't go to the gyms anymore because the mats are really fucking dirty. And yeah, you catch yourself some fucking nasty ass fucking, whatever you call that shit. Staph infections, nasty. And not only staph infections, but injuries as well. Cutie Pie, Isaac says, Jack erased his message. Why are you erasing your message, Jack? What is going on? You're authentic. Thank you so much, Isaac. I really appreciate that. Derek, good. Keep it to yourself. This is not a religious channel. Thank you so much, Jason 9, for saving me from the religion. You know what I mean? From people talking about religious. Evil is everywhere. Isaac, I agree with you. I don't think this was his opinion. I think it was his lack of empathy and understanding to other people's point of view. He was a narcissist. No, it all thought only his way was the right way. Bro, but yeah, that was a savage way to go for sure. Sniper bang. I liked and subscribed. Thank you so much, Isaac. I appreciate you. I eat staffs for breakfast and ringworms for lunch. Mr. C's is ridiculous out here. Look, guys, you don't want to fuck with staph infection. Did you see what happened to Ben Askren? Guys, this Ben Askren literally needed to get 2 lungs, transplants. Okay, all due because an unintended staph infection. Okay, you don't tell me you eat staph infections. Okay, unbelievable. But Jack, I do want to rebuttal to Jack really fast. I want to read his comment real fast. He says, I don't think it was his opinion. I think it was his lack of empathy and understanding to other people's point of view. He was a narcissist. Okay. Now, Jack, I'm gonna hold you accountable for that. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say you're wrong, Jack. I'm not gonna sit here and say you're wrong. But let's break this down. All right, because that's why I didn't want to say something that later on I would regret. That's the reason why I wanted to analyze what I was going to say back in my rebuttal a moment ago. Now, what consists of a narcissist? A narcissist consists of a person who can do harm to someone without feeling any remorse. That is what a narcissist is. A narcissist is a person who can do harm to someone but feel no empathy towards them. Okay? And in my opinion, I can't call, and like I said, I don't know much. I don't know much about Charlie Kirk. I really don't. I really don't know much about the guy. All right. But I can't sit back and say that he was a narcissist. I can't sit back and say that he was causing harm to people and not feeling any remorse. Because he wasn't out here causing any harm to people. It's not like he was out here killing people, murdering people, or raping people, trafficking people. From what I know of Charlie Kirk, he's not one of those. All right, he was a devout Christian. From what I researched, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke. So I can't sit back and say that Charlie was a narcissist. I can't say that. You know what I mean? Even with the lack of information that I have about the guy, I can literally sit back here and say I don't think he was a narcissist. You know what I mean? So yeah, maybe he had some opinions and some strong opinions about some things. And yeah, maybe he did, make people feel a certain way because he was, really what's the word? He was really matter of fact behind his opinions, but that doesn't make you a narcissist and that doesn't make you a bad person. You know what I mean? So everybody's going to have different point of views. And I think there just needs to be a common ground. You know what I mean? I think that's what needs to go on. But Jack, I hear you. I hear you for sure. Let me see. It doesn't matter. You can't just shoot someone. Mustard, I agree. I agree with you. You can't just go and shoot somebody, right? But in this country, you can. You can go and shoot anybody you want, realistically, but you're gonna have to deal with the repercussions, and you're gonna be held accountable for your actions. Point blank. Jonathan says Jack's a snowflake, using the word narcissist and not knowing what it even means. Jonathan, that's the reason why I wanted to break that down. You know what I mean? That's the reason why I wanted to break that down, to its finest degree. You know what I mean? I'm not the smartest man in the world. I'm really not. I never sat on this live and said I'm the smartest man in the world. I know everything. My opinion is above everybody else's. No, I always tell you guys, this is the only channel where the fans come first, not last. And I will always hold myself accountable for anything that I say on this channel. All right. I sometimes even reflect on some of the arguments that I be having with some of the people on here, and I reflect about it. I'm like, man, maybe I shouldn't say that. You know what I mean? Maybe that was too much of a low blow, but that's the reality of my situation. And for anyone wondering about my previous thing, yes, I always came to the gym 100% clean, always shower before and after training. Don't be a nasty fella. I hear you, Mustard. I hear you. Jason Nine says, Jonathan, facts. Well, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you guys, man. I hear you. I'm not, like I said, that's the reason why I wanted to break down, the word narcissist, and really, emphasize the meaning of it. Mr. C says, I think you are mixing your definition of narcissist with that of a psychopath. No, actually, I don't think so. That's my last serious message about non-MMA matters. I need to go back to the jokes. I hear you, Mister. I hear you, Mr. C. But no, I don't think I got narcissist wrong. I believe that's what a narcissist is. If I'm not mistaken, that's what it consists of a narcissist: a person who continuously can do harm but feel no remorse. From the top of my head, I mean that's the definition that I can come up with. A psychopath is something totally different. A psychopath, that's an idiotic person who cannot find common ground with his reality. I think that's what it consists of a psychopath. He wasn't a narcissist. Uh, Even if he was, does that justify him getting killed? He was 31 years old and had a family. Jonathan, I agree with you, man. Uh, Jonathan Pre says hi. How you doing, Jonathan Pre? Hopefully you're having a good one. Mustard, you erased your message. Jack says maybe delusional was the better word. Jack, I don't know. Jack, hey, you're entitled to say whatever you want, man. But let me make sure my mic is hot. I don't know if he was delusional either. A delusional person would say, "I can fly." You know what I mean? And that'll be delusional because you're not flying. You know what I mean? The capabilities of a human flying like Superman through the fucking air and through the skies, that's virtually impossible. Okay? So delusional, I don't know if I'll call him delusional. Can you please listen to me? Can you help me with something, please? Jaden Vlog, what do you need help with? I'll be honest, bro. I didn't like him, but I don't get me wrong. He didn't deserve the sniper shot. Jack, I agree with you. I don't think anybody deserves to go out like that, especially in front of everybody to see and in front of your family. Like I said, his wife was in attendance, his kids were in attendance. And it's crazy for the fact that this happened on the eve of September 11th, guys. Has anybody found that sequence? This happened on the eve of September 11th, which makes it even more crazier, to be honest with you. Let me see. It's insane. If anyone had less of a care for humans, wouldn't it be the guy who literally pulled the trigger? Yeah, yeah, it would be. It would be mustard. It would be mustard tin can. Mr. C says from Narcissus, a character in Greek mythology who became obsessed with his own reflection. From Narcissus, a character in Greek mythology who became obsessed with his own reflection. One who shows extreme love and admiration for himself or herself. Mr. C's, are you reading? Are you reading like the actual definition from a dictionary? Okay, you are. That's from the dictionary. Um. Okay. Uh. Okay. I thought a narcissist would consist of a person who can do harm to someone and feel no remorse. That's what I thought was a narcissist from the top of my head. You know what I mean? And from the dictionary, perspective and definition of it, I still wouldn't say he's a narcissist. I don't think he was a narcissist. If he was a narcissist and he was obsessed with his own self and admired himself to the point where he only cared about himself, then I don't think he would be going in front of people and debating with them. I don't think he'll be putting himself at risk because I know for a fact he knew he was putting himself at risk, especially going out there and dealing with young adults. Young adults are sporadic; they're liable to do anything. You can't really judge whether what a young person is going to do, especially if they disagree with your opinion. So even in that behalf, with that definition, I still wouldn't consist of Charlie as a narcissist. I just wouldn't. I don't think he was obsessed with himself, let alone obsessed with his own opinions. Jonathan says, how does this represent Charlie in any way? Jonathan, my point exactly. I am English teacher, so I feel obliged to inform. My bad. Mr. C's, I hear you. I hear you. Thank you for informing me about the specific definition of what narcissists actually consist of. But maybe I've been using it wrong as well throughout my life, because I mean, I see a lot of narcissists out here. You know what I mean? But the way the dictionary reflects it is it's totally different from what how I would use it. But it's a crazy world we're living in, guys. It really is. It's a crazy world we're living in. I'm glad I got on this live, and we're here chopping it up. This is a mixed martial arts channel, but I did get on here without a topic, and I did want to talk about whatever it is you guys want to talk about. And you guys are doing a great job. You guys are doing a great job of giving your own opinions, and we're actually here, finding common grounds. You know what I mean? This is what this is all about. You know what I mean? This is, I think, what Charlie was all about as well, was finding common ground, and just being able to talk and find a way to build that gap. You know what I mean? Let me see. How about this Noche card? Am I right? Well, Mr. C's, I mean, this Noche card is trash. On paper, this card is trash. It's very top heavy. Very, very top heavy. I mean, we got Diego Lopez versus Gene Silva. Terrific fight. Don't get me wrong, but I did pick Gene Silva to beat Diego Lopez. I just believe in the momentum that Gene Silva is coming with. But the co-main event is Rob Font versus David Martinez. I mean, guys, it speaks for itself. I love Rob Font. Always brings a banger. It's probably going to be a banger fight. I did pick Rob Font to win that fight, but I mean, look at the rest of this card, guys. I mean, when you look at the rest of this card on paper, it looks like trash. Now, last weekend, that card did look like trash as well, but it did deliver. Only 2 fights ended up going to decision. So hopefully this card is one of those as well, where on paper it looked like trash, but it actually delivers. I'm hoping it is one of those cards. Guys, like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Okay, it takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it. Thank you for supporting independent MMA media. And like I always say, guys, this is your channel, okay? I am just the pilot, all right? The only channel where the fans come first, not last. Let me read some of these. Mustard says it's a good open-minded community. Very much so, Mustard, very much so. Jonathan says, how do you think Lopez versus Silva plays out? Well, look, man. If I had to give you the specific details, I think Diego Lopez and Gene Silva are going to go in there. They're going to stand in front of each other in the first round, and I think they're going to let it go. I think they're going to start throwing combinations. I don't think you'll see like any moments where they'll just be staring at each other. I don't think there'll be moments like that. I think Diego Lopez and Gene Silva are going to go in there and bang it out. And for me, in my opinion, I think Gene Silva is just I think he's going to be the quicker fighter. I think he's going to be more in and out on Diego Lopez. I think Gene Silva is going to be able to land, the cleaner punches. Diego Lopez, don't get me wrong, he's good on the feet, but he's not really a technical. Excuse me, he's not really a technical wizard when it comes to his stand-up game. So that's why I say, most likely Gene Silva is going to find a lot of success on the feet, and that's the reason why I picked Gene Silva to win this fight. I just see Diego Lopez, basically obliging and agreeing with Gene Silva to, let's just bang it out. And unfortunately, that's not going to work out for him. Let me read. Mars says Lopez is going to get the win. Well, if you say so, Mars, hopefully I see you on Saturday on my live, because I will be going live for this event. I will be going live for this UFC event. And if this UFC event finishes before the Canelo and Crawford fight, then I will be going live for the Crawford and Canelo fight as well. Okay, so stay tuned for this Saturday, guys. Okay, I will be going live for this UFC event. And like I said, if this UFC event does finish prior to the Canelo and Crawford fight, I will be going live for that as well. Let me see. Mr. C says, I think it's going to be a good card in its delivery. Is it is a perfect it is a perfect to Mexican Independence Day and a warm up for Canelo versus Crawford. My point exactly, Mr. C. My point exactly. Mustard says I got Silva by knockout, but Lopez will land more shots, but Silva will have the harder shots. That's a good way of looking at it, Mustard. That's a really good way of looking at it. I honestly think you're agreeing with me. It's going to be a stand-up fight, stand-up affair, and at the end of the day, we both agree that Jane Silva is going to be successful in this fight. Jack says Silva by KO, second round. Let's go. He's coming for that emo chump. It should be a banger, guys. It should be a banger. Jack said, I got Rafont as well and Jared Gordon. Dubs. I did pick Jared Gordon to win as well, guys. I just don't believe in Rafa Garcia's. I think Jared Gordon will go in there and beat Rafa, to be honest with you. So I did pick Jared Gordon as well. Mustard says Lopez equals better volume. Silva equals more technical and more power. I agree. I agree with you, Mustard. Great breakdown. Eddie Spaghetti says, Matt, I think I'm in love with you. I'm always thinking that you are super cute. That is awesome. Jack says, I got Bud beating your boy Canelo as well. Super fight. Bud, don't play. Well, Jack, I agree. I agree. When it comes to Crawford, I mean, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good banger. But I do have Canelo winning this fight. Jonathan says there are both dogs, but Gene is the more polished striker with more power in his hands. Jonathan, my point exactly. I did mention that as well, and I agree with you, Jonathan. Mr. C says it should end. It should end before Canelo Crawford since they are both Zuffa products. That's why this card starts so early. Awesome. Round of applause for Dana White, Sean Shelby, Mick Maynard, Turkey, all of them who put this card together and put this boxing event together as well. I appreciate them. It's going to be a hell of a Saturday night, guys. That means I'm going to be live for more than 6 fucking hours. Okay, so stay tuned for that one, all right? Let me see. Also, Silva High Key just has a pretty good chin. He does. Kobe! How you doing, Kobe? Welcome back to your channel. Welcome back to your chat. Guys, like and subscribe if you are new to the channel, okay? Support the community. Run up these likes and run up these subscriptions, okay? What are you doing? All the fights are Sunday for me as I'm from Australia. Man, Australia, yes. Unfortunately, it is on a Sunday for you, a Saturday for us, early Saturday for us. But don't worry. Don't worry. You know what I mean? It's going to be a hell of a day. It's going to be a hell of a day for you as well. Versus... I got to check out that fight then. I got to check out that fight that you're talking about, Mr. Cease. I'm going to have to check out that fight that you're talking about, guys, okay? But yeah, guys, I mean, crazy times that we are living in, man. Crazy times that we are living in. You know what I mean? I would never think that the UFC is, canceling out pay-per-views. I never thought I would see that day. You know what I mean? And now the UFC is canceling out pay-per-views. They're moving to Paramount. They got this whole new thing going on now. It's a big move. It's a big move for the UFC. It's a big move for the MMA community as well. So we're gonna keep it pushing, guys. We're gonna keep it pushing. Okay. Let me see, Jury or Khalil Roundtree. You know, Jonathan, that's gonna be a terrific fight. I'm not gonna give you my predictions for that just because that fight is around the corner. But I like both guys. I like Jury. I like Khalil Roundtree. I think both guys are awesome. I am so happy that both guys did beat Hill. You know what I mean? I'm so happy about that. I'm about to hop in. You, or Smoker head down to the server for a pack of Doritos and a crate of VPs. Should be a nice first week of foodie finals. Up the chokes. Mr. C's, I don't understand what you just said. Okay, Mr. C's, I don't understand a word that I just read. All right, but I'm gonna I'm gonna say blessings. Might even have a yarn for with me, Cheeky mate on the dole. 50-50 fight for me. Jonathan, yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Jonathan. It is a 50-50 fight, to be honest with you. I mean, both men are, coming with momentum. Both men are capable on the feet. I don't think any of these guys are going to go for a takedown. So it's going to be a fun fight. In my opinion, it's going to be a fun fight. Volk. Volk the GOAT. How you doing? Welcome back to your channel. Welcome back to your chat. Mr. C says that was for Kobe. Uh, got you. Okay, got you. But yeah, guys. Um, touching up on the on the subjects that we ended up bringing up today. John Jones talks about that he wants, that he hasn't retired. He's coming back. He wants to fight on that White House card. That's good for him, but I don't think the UFC is going to be able to do that. And when it comes to Kayla Harrison, guys, it looks like Kayla Harrison will be on that White House card. All right. Apparently, in her last interview, she gave the head nod that she will be fighting on that White House card. So it looks like I was right when I made my UFC fight predictions for this UFC fight card at the White House. I did put Kayla Harrison in this card or on this card. So we're gonna see who she fights. Mr. C sounded like that Baltimore dude from Druss video there, right? I make edit and post them on YouTube. Who should I make an edit on next? Volk, I have no idea. I have no idea who you want to make an edit on. But hopefully, your edits get millions and millions of views, okay? Mr. C says so much pressure on Silva and Lopez alike. Silva needs to do it for the gym. Lopez needs to do it for Mexico, and to get back to the title. Mr. C, it's huge implications right now. Huge implications. I mean, Diego Lopez, if he beats Gene Silva, I mean, it puts him right back in position to fight for that gold. But easier said than done, man. I mean, Gene Silva is a hell of an athlete. I mean, he's 3-0 in his last 3 fights. He can win the fight, by submission or by striking. He's an overall mixed martial arts fighter, so it's going to be a hell of a night, hell of a fight, to be honest. Jason 9 says, you betting on Canelo fight? I'm going to pass this time. Jason 9, no, I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not betting. Jason 9, you already know I'm not a betting man. Okay, I'm not a betting man. So when it comes to this Canelo and Crawford fight, I won't be betting on this fight. But I'll be watching. I will be watching, and I'll just be a spectator and watch. Okay, but I do have Canelo winning this fight. I'm still confused. Is Lopez Brazilian or Mexican? Diego Lopez is actually Brazilian. Okay, but he was raised around that Mexican area. Who you got for Canelo and Crawford? Kobe, I did mention I got Canelo winning that fight. And Lopez versus Silva, I got Silva. I got Gene Silva winning that fight. That's what I got, guys. Okay, Mr. C. Lopez is Mexilian. That's a good one. That is a good one. But he is. Jack says Kobe, Gene Silva, Bud Crawford will be winner. I know my predictions. Gene Silva, Crawford. Hey, those are good predictions. Those are really good predictions, Jack. It really is. But do I see Crawford winning? I don't see him winning, but I do see it being a good, fun fight. To be honest, I want Lopez to win. Well, guys, I don't think Diego Lopez is going to win. I think Gene Silva is going to win, and he's going to win by knockout. Okay, that's my prediction for that one. All right. Canelo, oh, bro, Crawford is in his prime. Jack, I agree. I agree with you. But even Canelo being, past his prime, I still think he has a lot of ability. You know what I mean? I mean, a lot of people were saying Mayweather was past his prime as well when he fought a lot of people. But he was still just unhittable. He still had had a lot of abilities, especially in that defensive, style of fighting. So when it comes to Canelo, we're going to see what type of style of fighting he brings into this fight with Crawford. Okay. Canelo gonna dismantle him. Jonathan, we shall see. We will see. Theo, let's go. We shall see. Jason 9 says, didn't Lopez lose that fight? LOL. What fight you talking about, Jason 9? Bro, what? Crawford is 2 years older than Canelo. Jonathan, that's a good point. Mr. C says, did Lopez fight like he did against Volk and try to outpoint at range, or does he go back to the ruthless ways of old? Mr. C's, he's gonna have to use a mixture of that. Okay, Mr. C's, I think he's gonna have to use a little bit of that old ruthlessness that he brought to that Brian Ortega fight. But I also think he's going to have to play that technical game as well. Excuse me, because if he goes in there and and Diego is reckless, he's liable to get caught by Gene Silva. Gene Silva is a technical wizard. So Diego Lopez is going to have to do his due diligence. He's going to have to be both men. He's going to have to be reckless, but he's also going to have to be super calculated as well. Jack puts LOL. Who's the heavier weight class for Canelo Crawford, or are they the same? I don't watch boxing. Do I? Don't know. Kobe, Canelo is actually at a higher weight class, and Crawford is actually coming up to fight him. All right, so Crawford actually has to gain a couple muscle mass to get on the level of Canelo. Crawford is 40. How is Canelo old? Against Volk. Oh, against Volk. Yeah, he definitely did lose that fight. Canelo 35, Bud 37. I mean, they're right around the same age. They're right around the same age, guys. I have Canelo winning then. There you go, guys. There you go. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited for this weekend. I am very excited for this weekend. This is the first time that I'm actually gonna, watch a UFC event and watch a boxing event all in the same day. I'm fucking excited about this, man. I am totally excited about this. I know for a fact, guys. I know for a fact the UFC is watching the data. They want to see how many people will transition from watching mixed martial arts, then transition to watch the Netflix Canelo and Crawford fight. They want to see. They want to take this data down because it's gonna tell the story for moving forward of how the UFC and this new boxing organization actually moves forward. You know what I mean? Because it looks like they're working cohesively. So if they're working in a consensus, it's going to be cool. There might be more events like this where they're booked in the same day, and now we have a whole Saturday where it's just full of events. I'm happy about it. Let me see. And still the UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Johnny Bones Jones. Aesthetic. Welcome back to your channel. Welcome back to your chat. Canelo fighting much bigger opponents for years. Crawford jumping multiple weight classes. That's exactly what's going on, Mr. Cease. Thank you for clarifying. Give Tony Ferguson the winner of Canelo and Crawford. Kobe, you are out of your mind, okay? You are out of your mind, but I like it. I like the fact that we have all now, you know what I mean? Finally got out of this losing era for Tony Ferguson. I'm totally excited for it. Al Kukui ankle picks those losers. I think so. I think Tony Ferguson just puts dust into their eyes and knocks them out. Okay. Is the boxing or UFC on first? Boxing is actually on second. So you'll watch the UFC first, and then boxing will come on later on that night. That's why I believe the UFC actually has it, starting so early. That's what somebody had mentioned on the chat earlier, guys. But yeah, guys, it should be a fun night. It should be a fun night full of events, full of fun fights. I'm excited for it. Like I said, I'm hoping this card delivers because on paper, this card is trash, but I'm hoping it delivers. And I'm hoping it's a fun fight or a fun fight night card so we can transition beautifully into this Crawford and Canelo fight. And I will be going live for both events. Okay, guys? So stay tuned for that. Hopefully, I see everybody on the live that day as well. Support the community, guys. So they don't clash at all. That's good. Yeah, they don't clash at all from the looks of it, guys. They do not clash at all from the looks of it. Okay. But yeah, guys, I'm out of here, guys. You already know what it is. All right. This is OE MMA TV. I'm your host, OE. Like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it. Thank you for supporting independent MMA media, guys. And like I always say, and I say it again, this is your channel. The only channel where the fans come first, not last. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Y'all stay blessed. I will be going live, like I said, this Saturday for this UFC event, and hopefully going live for this boxing event versus Canelo versus Crawford. So stay tuned for that. Blessings to everybody on the chat. Stay safe, and thank you guys for supporting this community. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I hope I see you again this Saturday, guys. One love. Peace. Until next time.